Welcome to How Now, the podcast where we talk about how to live in the now. And here's your host, Kim Martin Raymond.
Peace and blessings, and welcome to another edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. I am your host, Kim Martin Raymond. I'm a minister, spiritual life coach, author, and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. And welcome again to the second season of the How Now podcast. And if you're new to the How Now podcast, be sure to go to my website, www.hownowpodcast.com, where you can go and listen to our current shows. You can go and listen to our shows from season 1. You can also click on the banner and it will take you to our How Now YouTube channel, where you can like, follow, and subscribe, so that you're always abreast of what's going on in the now. And again, that's www.hownowpodcast.com. Okay, so let's get into today's episode, which is entitled, What Are You Waiting For? Okay. One thing that we want to talk about on this one, this is a topic that touches home for not only myself, but for millions across this country. And let me start with a statistic first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, 88% of people set a New Year's resolution, and 80% of the people break that resolution before Valentine's Day. Okay, barely a little over a month after they've made that resolution. Okay, and then 10% of people in the population set well-defined goals, and only 70% of those people reach that goal 50% of the time. And a lot of this happens because of one word: procrastination. Okay. And to help me dive into this topic and to talk about the topic of procrastination is this fine young gentleman sitting next to me. And of course, as is customary with the How Now podcast, I'm going to have him to introduce himself at this time.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to be with you all today. I'm Chris Cooper, and basically as a lifestyle and procrastination expert, I help entrepreneurs as well as professionals stop quitting, stop procrastinating, and start succeeding in business in every single area of their life. And much like you, Kim, I love being able to pour into individuals, and I'm able to do that through coaching, through training, through speaking, the whole gamut. But it's funny that you led with the statistics, which I think are great, because I think so many individuals deal with this. Let me back up for a second. I actually usually introduce myself as, hi, my name is Chris, and I'm a recovering professional procrastinator. Because I mean, you know, it's a realistic part of every single's life. People dress it up. They deflect. They pretend like it's something else, but at the end of the day, it's really the biggest enemy of our success.
Oh yes.
And as I look at, you know, I guess I'll tell you a little bit of how I even got into this whole space.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Philadelphia. So I've been in Atlanta, 20 plus years now. Mm-hmm. My mother had when she was very young. She was very, very young. She was only 15 years old. Uh-huh. And my family was adamant about the fact that I would grow up and I would become a statistic. And but my mother said, you know, we grew up in North Philly. She's like, look, she said when she was carrying me that God told her that I would one day grow up and do exactly what I'm doing now, which is speaking life into the lives of individuals all across the world. So y'all give it up for my mama, for the intelligent. Hey, mama. Mama, we made it. I know, I'm silly. I like to have fun. So so from that perspective, my biological father wasn't in my life pretty much from age 2 to 21. And I used to go through all of these things, right? This rejection, this alienation, all of these feelings that didn't sit right with me. And so what I did was, thank God, I was a little bit more productive even then. I threw myself into activities and to sports and to things where I knew I could get that fatherly affirmation and the praise from other people. But then it hit me, actually, when I was right here in Atlanta, Georgia at Morehouse College, that it didn't matter who did what, when, where, why, or how to us. It's what we're going to do to make other people's lives better. And when you talk about that light bulb moment, that aha moment, when everything opens up, and that was a true game changer for me. So I continued in college and got a math degree from Morehouse, an industrial engineering degree from Georgia Tech. Ended up getting an executive MBA from NYU, and just working in corporate and doing the thing, right? Doing the thing that everyone says, go to school, get a good job, that the 40 plan, right? Where you're supposed to work 40 years, 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then you're supposed to retire on 40% of the money, which is very interesting, because if you weren't able to survive off of 100% of the income when you're working, what makes you think you can live off of the 40? But that's neither here nor there. But I say it to say is that I found myself in corporate America and doing extremely well. I became the youngest junior exec with a major telecommunications company, got promoted 3 times in 18 months, the whole shebang. But I realized at that moment, and this is why I'm bringing this up, I'm going to lead you all into this whole procrastination thing. Yeah. I was so good at doing it that I would tell myself the lie that I work best under pressure. Yes. I would wait to the last minute to do things because I knew I could do it. When you have that confidence and that certainty about yourself, and you're always going to show up and things are going to pop, and it's just going to be like, let's go. But then I realized that after working 18-hour days, 6 days a week, and constantly being quote unquote on all the time, that was not going to be sustainable. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have some kids. I wanted a life, right? Right. And from the outside looking in, people would say, oh, it's a perfect situation and it's amazing and it's awesome and all that kind of stuff. But I knew that for me, and I learned this from one of my mentors, Mr. Tony Robbins, was that if you're not growing, you're dying. And I felt myself in a situation where I wasn't growing. I wasn't learning. I wasn't being challenged consistently. And I knew I wanted more. And although I was good at technology and good, and good with management, and I had multi-million-dollar budgets and managing 80 plus individuals and commanding and saving the company millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff, it just wasn't enough, because there's a difference between happiness and also fulfillment. And I really wanted to ultimately be fulfilled. So I say that to say is that I hired a coach. So I stepped out of corporate America. I did a major shift. It was I call it the divine digital downloads that I received. Yeah. A man of faith, and I know that God leads me every day and keeps me. And one of the things that I heard in three different states, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, where I'm from. Get out the boat, Peter. The message was, get out the boat, Peter. Walk on the water, get out the boat. And I was just feeling like everything around me was just, was enclosing me. Because like I said, I was working all the time. I was always on. I had a blackjack and a BlackBerry and a pager and a razor. And I mean, I had all these things, right? Right. I'm dating myself, right? But I had all these things, right? And I just felt like this is not what I want. Yes, I can do this, but this is not exactly what I want. And I think that's a big differentiator for individuals. So I basically, took a big leap of faith and stepped out of corporate America. I was strategic about it. But on May the 20th, 2005, I gave them the peace up, A-Town down. And and I walked in my destiny. I knew that, I had always had a knack for communicating with individuals, for working with people, for changing their lives, for doing different types of stuff. I was doing oratorical contests my whole life. I had done, student body president from 7 to 17. I was already in that space. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, I like to talk and I can get paid for talking. Wait a minute, this is going to be okay. Like, I don't know how to shut up sometimes. So this is good. This is a good thing, right? So I stepped out and I got my first business coach. And my first business coach taught me a very, very valuable lesson. And he said, Chris, as an entrepreneur, you got to give people what they ask for, not what you think they need. And the problem with so many of us in the entrepreneurial space is that we get married to our ideas and the things that we want to do and how we want to ultimately do it. And oftentimes when we do that, we overwhelm ourselves, and guess what we fall into? Procrastination. So working with that one coach just really taught me to understand the importance of really, self-evaluating and asking myself, guess what? One of my favorite questions, is it true? Is it true that I truly work best under pressure? Is it true that I'm just a perfectionist? That's why I wait. It has to be perfect before we put it out there, right? Is it true that that it's the adrenaline that pumps at the last minute, and I know that I can do it. Is that really true? I mean, is it really the pressure of the situation that makes me do it? Or is it something different?
Right.
And what I realized, it was something different. It's not that I work best under pressure. It's not that I'm a perfectionist. It's not that I have to get it right every time. It's just the fact that I have a standard for my work product and for my reputation. And therefore, if I don't, guess what? Excuse the language, if the shit hits the fan and it's the end of the day and I got to come through, guess what? I'm the closer. With seconds left, give me the ball. Boom, it's going in. Like that I know that, but I realized, just like I said with the career thing, just because I was good at math and science and technology and stuff didn't mean that I had to do it for the rest of my life. And guess what? Just because I was good at working best under pressure, the kind of stuff, doesn't mean I have to do it for the rest of my life. So, and then I thought about the freedom. See, the thing about procrastination it's a very sly and sneaky thing, right? And the thing about procrastination that really got me, and I was working with one of my second coaches with the Tony Robbins organization, and we were just breaking down. He was like, "Well, Chris, what are you really good at?" It's like, well, I'm good at math and science, and I'm good at this. I'm good at communicating. He's like, well, what are you really good at? Like, what if people come to you for? I was like, you know what? I get shit done. That's what I do. I mean, like in every situation, it doesn't matter what it is, what needs to be done, I get it done. Right. And because I get it done, and I thought about it, and I'm better at getting things done when I'm able to plan, when I'm able to put forth the effort on the front side instead of being reactionary at the end. So when I think about this procrastination, I believe that it's a disease. It is a disease. Procrastination is a disease, and the only cure for it is action. And I'll tell you one more thing about procrastination that I learned. And I've done all this extensive research, and you had an amazing, the statistics that you mentioned about why people don't keep their New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. And it really comes down to this. It really comes down that the reason that we don't succeed with a lot of things is that there's a lack of follow through on our part. And the lack of follow through often is because we are procrastinating. And the procrastination, whether you realize it or not, is the ultimate form of arrogance. Procrastination is the ultimate form of arrogance. How dare you assume that you're going to be around long enough to get to it later? How dare you assume that all the stars will align and you will be given the opportunity to do it later? So when I thought about it, I was like, procrastination is a disease. Action is the cure. Procrastination is the ultimate form of arrogance. So why do we do it? And I think the other problem with procrastination is that the costs to most people are incalculable. They don't see them. You don't see the missed relationships. You don't see the missed business opportunities. You don't see the missed things, all the things that you miss when you wait until the last damn minute to do something. Once again, it's not about the fact that you are so best on it. No, you have standards, and your standard is always going to shine if you really care about yourself and your reputation and how you take care of people. So it's not really even a procrastination thing. It's really about standards. Yeah. And what do you hold yourself up to, and what do you hold other people up to, which is really the effective management of everyone's expectations. Yeah. So when I think about this whole concept of procrastination and why it robs individuals, a thief, right? Why it robs us of those moments, right?
Right.
And I think the other thing that procrastination robs us of is the present. Think about it. It robs you of the present, because usually when you procrastinate, you're even thinking about past stuff that you didn't do, right, or that you should have done, or whatever, or you're so focused on the future and what you think you got to create and what you have to do that you're missing the moment. And I think momentum is about management of those moments. Yes. So those moments are so important, and they're so critical. So I'm going to give y'all some tips in a minute, but I just wanted to kind of set the stage to just kind of show you why this topic is so critically important for us, for all of us, right? Right. And then don't worry, I'm gonna cut you open a little bit, but I promise I'm gonna sew you back up real good.
Absolutely. I mean, you have said a mouthful, and definitely, like you said, setting the stage for this, and you've made some extremely key points that I hope that people have had an opportunity to grab a notepad and write down. I love that you say that it is a disease,
Yeah.
because it is something that definitely needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And that it's a form of arrogance, that I was today years old on that one. Okay, because yes, it is a form of arrogance. Just like you said, how dare we think, oh, we're going to have time.
Yeah.
Okay. We're always talking about life is too short. We never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few minutes.
Exactly.
But yes, how dare we stop and say, oh, well, oh, yeah, we're going to have time to do this. And that there are different levels to that procrastination.
Yes.
That there are two sides to that spectrum.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you're that person who's like, I want to get it done.
Yep.
It's a matter, and I know that I can get it done. I'm the closer. Then you have those who procrastinate because they're just like, wait a minute, I'm not quite sure.
I'm not ready.
Sure.
I'm not ready.
You have those people who are those type A, hello, who, I use that to check, everything has to be checked off, and the stars have to be aligned, and the moon has to be in the 7th house before I because I need to make sure that is right.
Absolutely.
And so you have two sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
On procrastination, and both people feel justified in saying that that's the reason why I waited, or like you said, I love that pressure, I love that doing things. I, on the other hand, have high anxiety about that. No, I want to take my time and make sure that it's done right. But interesting how both of those spectrums have that same conclusion of, because I wanted to make sure that it was done right.
Correct.
And some people can do it right by doing it, by being pressurized into doing it right. And some people can do it right by taking their time.
Correct.
So it's interesting how you can see things from both perspectives, and they're still bringing the same result, and they're still both causing procrastination either way. So I love
guess what? It's really pain. Yeah. Procrastination is let's be like let's take they say you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, right? So it's a pretty pig now, a prettier pig. But yeah, and I think and we've gotten so accustomed to lying to ourselves about it, right? And like I said, and it takes all those forms, the two sides of the spectrum, the same way you just mentioned. And what I've learned, like I said, working with so many individuals, all at 5 continents and all different types of individuals, and from all the way from multi-million-dollar CEOs to stay-at-home moms to college kids to celebrities to athletes to the whole, we all do the same stuff. We all do. And the only difference, honestly, is how we address it, right? And how we use it to address the other things, our other needs, our other things that we, so it's very interesting because, especially when it comes to decision making, and I really wanted to hit on that.
Yes.
And a lot of us, we wait until the last minute to make a decision, right? And that's also a form of procrastination, right? When you have no more options, right? So one aspect, like I said, when I stepped out of corporate, I got into, like I said, I hired a coach because I knew I wanted to speak. I started my career on the college market. So I was a college speaker. I would speak at different colleges and universities, all about professional development and leadership and communications and all that kind of stuff. And then I made my way to getting, like I said, to Tony Robbins, who is the father of the coaching industry, in case people didn't realize that. He's the first one to actually correlate what happens on the field or on the court and in the office to all be the same, right? To make it a peak performance. So I am an executive coach. I'm a peak performance business results coach as well. And I was, certified and all that kind of stuff through Tony, and selected from a talent pool of 500 of the world's top coaches. And they picked 40 of us and put us through hell, and 30 of us got the opportunity to definitely learn and glean and be under his team's tutelage. And it was absolutely amazing. But a couple things that he taught us, right, and that we learned through that process, specifically on this area of procrastination. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't get what they desire and what they want, right? And that goes back to this resolution thing. So yes, you may want to lose 15 pounds by February 28th, 2022, right? Maybe that is, you may really want it. But what happens to so many of us is what we want, what we feel, and what we believe are in conflict.
Right.
What we feel, what we want, what we believe. And that leads to, guess what? Procrastination, right? I'm not going to, because guess what? Confused people do what? Nothing. Confused people do nothing. It's like a deer in headlights. Like, okay, I'm just not going to move. Like, I'm just going to stay here. I don't know. It's not too bad, not too good. I'm just kind of here. Right. And that coma of complacency can really, really hurt a lot of us. And a lot of us, find ourselves, that's also a form of complacency, is a form of procrastination as well. And so as I was learning, about, some of those reasons why we don't get what we want. The first one for most of us, and this is another symptom of procrastination, et cetera, is that we're not clear about what we desire and what we want. We're not clear. So it's like, I'll take that and I'll take that. And I call that being schizophrenic. It's like, it's like squirrel.
That's right.
Squirrel. Like, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Okay. But you never stick with anything long enough in order to actually make it come to fruition. And that's why I'm a really big fan of focus, right? So this is the part of procrastination as well. You got to be able to focus. So what I've learned is like the reason that people don't get what they want is because they're not clear about what they desire and they don't focus on it. And when I say focus, I'll give you an acronym for this. It'd be good for everybody to show notes and write their notes. And I hope people are taking notes because I'm going to drop them bombs today. But
get ready, y'all.
Get ready. But here's one right here. The power of focus. What is focus, right? Focus, F is for follow, O is for one, C is for course, U is for until, S is for successful. Follow one course until successful. And many of us do not do that. We don't do our one thing well first before we try to do 8, 9, 10 different things. And that's the other thing about procrastination. People procrastinate because they get overwhelmed. Right. There's too many options. There's too much going on. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn. It's too much. And once again, that confusion hits. And guess what? I'm better off just doing nothing. Or guess what? Waiting around for somebody else to make a decision for me.
Right.
That never happens.
Paralysis.
Right. Analysis paralysis. Around and around and around and around. So that's number one reason people don't get what they want. They don't know what they want. Number two, they don't know why they want it. And this is huge. Another reason why people procrastinate, they don't know why they want the things that they desire that they want. And when I say why you want it, I did some work in direct sales and some other organizations, and I've trained so many different organizations all across the world. And what I've realized is that reasons come first, answers come second. Reasons come first, answers come second. So if I know why I want to make the $1 million, the $5 million, the $15 million, if I know why I want to touch the lives of 18,000 people in the next 3 months, if I know why, if I know the reason why, that is my fuel. That is my power. That is what, guess what, breaks out of the procrastination, because it's bigger than me. And when it's usually bigger than you, then you're able to tap in and lock in. So now now I can get what I want, because people that don't get what they want, they don't know what they want, and they're not, and they don't know why they want it. Now, the third reason why people don't get what they want, and it's all this is directly linked to procrastination, is that they don't have a proven set of tools, techniques, and strategies to get them there. The key word I use is what? Proven. Things that have worked. So you're not in a situation where you're just shooting from the hip and trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that. And you're just constantly going. And you're hoping, throwing something at the wall and just hoping something sticks. No, you need proven tools, techniques, and strategies that work. So therefore you can get clear and get what you desire and get what you ultimately want. And then the last reason why people don't get what they want is simply what I just mentioned a little earlier about this incongruence, right? Or I call it a conflict between what you feel, what you believe, and what you desire. I feel like I really want to make $1 million, but I feel like I don't have all the qualifications. I feel like I don't have the team in place. I feel like this, I feel. And then I really don't believe that it can happen for me, because there's fewer individuals in my demographic from where I'm from that actually get to that, right? So once again, this belief system, right? This desire, wanting area, or the things that you desire, and then the feelings behind it, because emotion is powerful.
Oh, yes.
Right? Emotion is powerful. Emotion, it says it, emotion, energy in motion, energy in motion. It's neither created nor destroyed, right? So when I think about the flow, and with procrastination, guess what? There's a negative energy that's flowing, right? One that's of hesitation, one that's of, guess what? fear, one that is of overwhelm, right? One that's of uncertainty, all these things over and over again. And it creates this kind of like vortex of sort where you get sucked in, right? And you're like, how did I get here? Like, why am I here? I know I said I was going to write the book 2 years ago. Why haven't I started writing the book? Right. And what I realized for most of us, sadly, let me be honest, people call me, he's a motivation speaker. No, you can use that word. I'm more of a subject matter expert. But the problem I have with motivation is that motivation is very external.
Yes.
However, inspiration is from within. And so many of us, time in and time out, a big reason why we're incapable of getting what we desire and what we want is we don't have those sustainable habits in place to support us. We're not tapped into our reasons why. We're not very clear about what we desire, and we just kind of take stuff as it comes.
Right.
But I think that we need to definitely, I urge us all to be strategic and intentional about what we desire and what we want. Put that out into the universe. The universe will conspire on your behalf to bring whatever you say, good, bad, or indifferent. If you say you can, if you say you can't, either way, you're right. You're right. I can't do this. Why does it keep happening to me? Think about all that negative stinking thinking. And procrastinators are the kings and queens of this because we have all that negative stuff. Oh, well, Chris, if you really, I don't know, are you really ready for that big deal? I don't know if you might mess up. You might get your words messed up. You might do this. You think you all that. You had it one time. You might be a one-hit wonder. Da, 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 da. I'm like I said, all this chatter, right? All these messages coming in. So we have to get the proper filter. And the only way the proper filter comes through the opposite of all those things I just said. Getting clear about what we desire and what we want, understanding why we want what we desire, following proven tools, techniques, and strategies to get us what we desire and what we want. Because guess what? Success leaves clues. It does. So if you do what successful people do and follow that path, you'll also be able to have what they have, be how they be, live how they live, all that kind of stuff. And it will ultimately work. And then, of course, like I said, clearing up, getting congruent, right? Getting congruent with my belief system, with what I desire and what I want, and also my emotions and how I feel. So it's kind of this connection between all three that allows us to really jump out
just
there.
Because it's so true. There's always a component that's missing. Yeah. We've got this beautiful circle, like you said, with these little squares in it, these little pieces in it, and there's always something missing. Just like you said, if you're not clear, then what does happen? You can't articulate what it is that you want if you're not clear on what you want.
Correct.
I want to do this. I want to be a coach. Well, do you know what a coach is? Do you understand what the dynamics of being a coach is?
Right.
Or is it just something that you heard and you've seen the people and you just say, I want to be like that. Right. I want to be like Michael Jordan, or I want to be like Ayanna Van Zandt, or I want to be like Oprah. Yeah. Do you know what that means? Yeah. Do you understand what that is? Or is it just that you know it by what you see, but no, nothing else behind it, nothing else behind the facade. And I think there's so much of that, especially in social media.
Oh my God, IG fat! I'm telling you.
Oh yes,
I tell you. I call IG the land of the fake, the phony, and the flossing. Okay. Because literally people are giving you, and I'm not beating up on Instagram. I like Instagram. It's okay. But I don't care if it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even LinkedIn. Yes. And so many times, I was joking. And one time a friend of mine sent me this and it was funny. And it was a post and it says, I am so proud of myself. And you'll get this joke from LinkedIn people. I am so proud of myself that I have mastered the ability to operate, a motor vehicle via, the Department of Transportation enabled me to follow through and push through and get all my courses, my coursework and mastery in that particular area. So therefore I could be amazing and awesome. I'm like, you got your driver's license? Okay, great. But it's like really, it's like the Ministry of Transportation has bestowed upon you this honor that you are now able to operate a motor vehicle. But but that's really what it is, right? And because people are selling, and this is the thing I think that, and it also causes people to procrastinate, right? Because damn, I can't be like him. I can't have no podcast. What do you mean? Like, how can I do that? I don't know what to say. I don't have the microphone. I don't know what the background will look like. I don't know the format for a show. I don't know how to record. Like, you know, and it's all this. I don't know. I don't get, you know, and like I said, and guess what? Your subconscious mind here, you ain't got it. You're right. You don't. And so guess what?
In your subconscious, did it say, well, let me go find out?
No, right, exactly. Let me go find out.
Okay, right. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You always say, I can't, but it was like, but what research did you do?
Right, exactly.
I love my husband for that, because that's something that he does too. He's like, so what research have you done so far on that, babe?
Right.
Where did you go and check out of that? Well, you see, I did, because I heard you say you couldn't, but that means that you had to have done some work.
Something.
That's like when you go comparison shopping, or you go and you looking for something, you want something, you gonna go and you going comparison shop, you gonna check this store, that store, and third, you're gonna find out where you can find it the cheapest, where you can get it the fastest. You're gonna do all of the legwork. So, you know, you wind up hearing all of that. I can't, but it's like, what did you do? The one thing that I heard you say earlier when you were talking about transitioning from corporate America and going into doing your own thing is you said, I got a coach. Because you understood that there was something that you may not have been capable of doing, or that you didn't have a knowledge base on. So you went to the source. And I love that, because that's one of the things you said. You know, people who procrastinate don't have a proven set of tools, techniques, and strategies. So if we don't have them, we don't just say we don't have them. What are you doing to find them, or to find
being resourceful? You're right. That's being resourceful.
And then you ask a reputable person. You don't go on Wikipedia to look for something. You know, as a person who has pursued her doctorate, I know to go to resources. I know to go to proven resources. I know to go to peer resources. I'm going to look places where I know people who have researched this have found answers for that. I'm not going to just go in willy-nilly. I'm not going to just go and ask Aunt Sally, who knows nothing about it, or I'm not going to ask, you know, Uncle Bojangle about it, because he don't know neither.
Exactly.
I'm going, you know, you're going to go and make sure that you find people. And I think that's huge when you're talking about that whole aspect of procrastination. Just like you're saying, you say, why? I don't know. I don't know this and I don't know that. Well, what did you do to find out?
Exactly. And don't tell me you tried everything either. And that's the other thing that really, now I don't believe in the TRY word anyway. I'm surprised I actually even said it, because I subscribe to the Yoda way, do or do not, there is no try. You know, so, you know, because we know when people say, you know, Doctor, you know, Kim, I'm coming. I'm gonna try to be there. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to write this. You're not writing the book. You're not coming to the. You're not coming to the house party. You're not doing it. Just say you're not. I know it's like a polite way to say I'm not coming, or I'm not going to do it. Right. So I'm really intentional about language. Language means a lot to me. Right. And as you talk about this, you know, this whole concept, as we talk about this intersection of finding the individuals, being resourceful, you know, all those types of things, the language that we use is also a part of that. And one of the things I don't do with my clients at all, well, I've tried everything. Have you really? Right. Have you really tried everything? Everything? Or have you tried 5 things and you said that that's everything? But I can show you there's another 15 on top of the 5 that you didn't try. So don't tell me you tried everything. Like, I don't believe we don't speak in absolutes.
Right.
People don't always do something, right? Right. You know, never, you know, all these always, never, like these words matter, and words have consequences. And I think that especially in this cancel culture in which we live, we understand and these, right? We understand that words have consequences, right? Whether you meant it or not, you can try to apologize, you can try, but you can't, let's be honest, you can't take it back. Yeah, I mean, once it's out, you can't. I tell people all the time, be careful, the internet is forever. The internet is forever. Like, it's somebody's going to dig. It'll be 45 years from now. Your grandkids will be in college and all that kind of stuff, and you will be like, "Well, Chris Cooper said the D word on the podcast back in 2022, right?" That's right. And they were like, "Oh, he's a potty mouth." You know, it's just crazy when I think about it. But yes, you know, being resourceful is so critical. I learned this. It's not about resources. It's about being resourceful. So you can't control the hand you're dealt. You only can control how you deal it. You know, that's why I always say when you talk about statistics, you know, I really do believe that life is, you know, 10% what happens to us, but 90% how we respond.
That's right.
Like, we have the power. And I think that personal power is so critically important. And I think so many of us, especially when it comes to procrastination and other areas, we give that power away freely to others, to dictate, to decide, to make the decision for us, right?
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm an options type of guy. And I learned that, you know what, if you have one option, you have no option, because you got to do it.
Right.
If you have two options, you got a dilemma. Damned if I do, damned if I don't, right?
Right.
Who knows, right? It's only typically, in my opinion, especially when it comes to difficult or hard decisions or valuable, important decisions that you're going to make. Once you have three or more options, now you're able to really make an informed decision, right? You know, and you got to really understand the importance of when you make those types of things. A great way to get over procrastinating is to make informed decisions. How do you make informed decisions, Chris? Number one, there's rules of decision making. I don't know if people know this, but there's rules of decision making. The first one is, guess what? You've got to write it down. You got to write it down. You got to physically see exactly what you desire and what you want. See, the problem with most of us, you said it earlier, Kim, it's this analysis paralysis. I'm going around and around. And think about it. When you don't write it down, you're constantly, you're thinking about it. You're on this endless, infinite loop, and it's going, and maybe even a figure eight, right? You might be going, I'm up and I'm down, I'm up and I'm back down. That's why depression is like that. All these things, all these feelings, all these lower emotions, right? And it's like I'm going around and around and around and around and around and around and around, and I may never get to it. So the first thing I would say when it comes to making these difficult decisions, you got to write it down.
Right.
Number two, going back to this message once again, Chris Cooper to you, you got to be clear about what you want and why you want, and why you want what you desire and what you want, right? Know what I want and why I want it, right? Number three is that, guess what? Now, whether people realize or not, this is the math guy in me, all important, difficult decisions, etc., that you're going to make and not be a procrastinator, right? Even decisions not to be a procrastinator, excuse me, is going to be based on probability. It's math. It's math. So when you look at the upsides and the downsides of each of these individual options, there's a probability that you can assess as to whether this will come to pass, whether this will not come to pass, how it will go, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to look at the numbers. Now, after even understanding that being the third rule of decision making, the fourth one is simply this. At the end of the day, it all comes down to value clarification. What do you value the most? See, some people who procrastinate, right? We'll talk about two spectrums of it, right? Okay. Some people who procrastinate, they value perfection, getting it right the first time. Mm-hmm. They value, leading in a certain way. They value, being the best of the best of the best. That's a value, right? It's a value set, right? Right. So therefore they procrastinate because they're always trying to have strive for this level of perfection, which we all know is unattainable because there's no perfect people or no perfect organizations, no perfect processes. There's always something. We live in the world's biggest room.
That's right.
You ready? The biggest room, you ready? A room for improvement. I know, right? Right, but we do, right? So you can always be better, and we should always be in this constant and never ending improvement, just vibe, right? And I think it's so critical that, when we talk about, like I said, procrastination, and we break down, all this stuff, that what we value really shows up. It really shows up. And then the same thing for the person that waits the last minute, but thinks they work best under pressure. Guess what? They valued something as well. They value their reputation. They value their standards. They value delivering, right? But guess what? They value that over the fear of not actually doing it.
Right.
You catch that? They value it more than the fear of not actually doing it. Right. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how long I have to stay up. I don't care, all these, I don't care. I got to get, it must. Once again, guess why? Because going back to what I said earlier, they know the reasons why they want what they desire and what they want. You're not going to stay up all night long and burn the midnight oil and go above and beyond and isolate your family and your friends and all that kind of stuff for something that doesn't matter to you, right? It's got to matter. And it's about a feeling. Everything we do in life is to feel a certain kind of way. Let's be honest. You make money to feel some kind of way. You get married to feel some kind of way. You have kids to feel some kind of way. You build a business to feel some kind of way. Like, everything's about emotion. And I know, especially as men, we act like we are some of the most emotional beings on the planet. We don't like to say we are, but we are. We are. We like to think that we're logical. Yes, we're logically keeping our emotions in check. That's what we're doing. Right. So it's not like, all of a sudden we're just not. No, we're very emotional, right? And we're all emotional beings. But once again, because we were created that way, to be relational and ultimately feel things, right? And everything we do is to feel a certain kind of way. And the quality of our lives will always, 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 always be dependent upon the meanings that we associate with things, experiences, and people in our lives. That's the quality of our life. So when we talk about a quality life where we're not procrastinating as much, it's going to happen. We're all human. There's no magic pill, right? I can't just say, do this, turn around your head, take this ginger root, eat this, and you will never procrastinate again in life. No, it's going to happen. But now when it happens, you need to be more equipped to have your toolbox handy.
Like you said, tools, techniques, and strategies.
Right? That's going to assist me, right? Whether that's the power of decision making, whether that's understanding how to, how to master my emotional state, my mental state, my physical state, whether it's, getting a coach, whether it's, and I like people, they always want to be a coach. Everybody thinks they want to be a coach and all that kind of stuff. And it's great. And they think this work is easy. And I'm good at telling people what to do. Okay. It's not about telling people what to do. It's not. And how can you be an effective coach when you don't have a coach? Now, I really don't coach about that. Like, I will never, it boils me inside when I think about coaches that don't have coaches.
Right.
And it's so crazy to me because it's like, you want individuals to invest in your services at this level so you can better them, and you're not bettering yourself. Like, I have had a coach since literally 2007, 8, and I have never not had a coach since. And I will never not have a coach again in my life. And I have about 3 different, 1, 2, 3. I mean, how many is it right now? 3 right now, because it changes for different seasons and different stuff. Right. But 3 for key parts of my life, of my business, of what I desire and what I need. And I think that enlisting the support is a great form of anti-procrastination. Yeah. Right? Enlisting and help, getting someone that's been there before you, that's done what you want to do, that's gotten the results that you ultimately desire. That's another reason why people procrastinate, right? Because they don't know. They're like, I'm just confused. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do it. Well, guess what? Go to the source, as we said. Find someone who's already done it. I'm sorry. Let me be very clear. Hate to be a Debbie Downer. Guys, there's no new ideas under the sun. You know that, right? Like, no, there are no new ideas. You're right. Somebody else probably had your idea before, and it's okay.
Right.
Because my first coach taught me, said, Chris, 3% is different. Yours is blue, mine is red. It does the same thing. But guess what? There's a market for blue and there's a market for red. And all we have to be able to do, so it's not about competition. I really believe in the law of abundance, and there's an abundance of opportunities and experiences and all that kind of stuff for all of us. We don't have to step on top of each other or try to keep somebody down or don't share or don't. It doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, that law of reciprocity is real, law of abundance is real, and law of attraction is real. All that stuff is going to come to fruition. And we just need to be open and honest enough with ourselves to say, hey, my name is Chris, and I'm a recovering professional procrastinator.
I absolutely love it. Chris, I mean, the nuggets that you have shared, guys, whether you watch this in replay or whether you watch it over again, there is so much to be said behind, like you said, being clear, knowing what it is that you want and desire and your reasons. Everything is about that why.
It is.
And then also, like you said, having those tools and equipping yourself, those things are important. So once you're clear on those things and once you're set in what it is that you're looking to achieve, how do you go about achieving it? And then, just like you said, having your feelings, beliefs, and desires in alignment.
Yes.
And the one thing that I even want to stress there is, when you set these intentions for yourself and then you achieve them, then all of a sudden you want to backpedal. Like, wait a minute. Because now all of a sudden you don't understand. Isn't this what you wanted?
Yeah.
And I say that because that's something that I've experienced in recent times myself with, I've had some significant weight loss. And now I'm going in the store and I'm like, I can't believe I can wear what I'm wearing. I can't believe I'm this size. And I'm going in every store. I'm trying on everything in the store, because I can't believe it. But it's just like, why don't you believe it? Isn't this what you said you want to do? Isn't this what you did?
And you manifested it, right?
You've manifested it. And now, so you have to be clear. Okay, when the manifestation happens, what are you going to do with that? Are you equipped to walk in it?
Correct.
Are you secure enough and equipped enough to walk in what it was that you manifested? You said you wanted 6 figures. Are you able to walk in that manifestation of that 6 figures?
Right.
Or now you're like, oh my God, I got all this money. I don't know what to do with it. You never thought about that?
Right.
Because somewhere in your mind, you didn't think at the end that you were going to actually achieve it. But what happens when you do?
Exactly.
So it's those kinds of things. And I think that some people procrastinate in that, because just like you have people who are afraid of failure, you have people who are afraid of success.
Big time.
Afraid of success. What happens if I actually do this? And we see that with entrepreneurs. You know, that you get these people that get all this money, they get all these things, and they get all this demand. Yeah, you get all this demand, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay,
now what?
I don't make enough popcorn.
Right.
But that's what but that's what I was banking on. And so now I've got all these people wanting what I have, and I'm not equipped to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We do that just like
real. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
That is so real right there. I'm if I may just jump that right there, that fear of success and the fear of failure being the exact same thing. And let me, if I may, let me break down this fear thing, because I think it's really, because it is a major component of procrastination and why people procrastinate. So, and when I think about fear, I really like, there's a movie, and it's not the best movie per se, but I'm a big Will Smith fan, and it's Will Smith and his son Jaden.
Yes.
They're in a movie, and it's called After Earth. People may have seen it, they may have not seen it. It's a post-apocalyptic, experience where the Earth is barren. It's way in the future. There was an apocalypse, all that kind of stuff. And Will is a soldier, and he's wounded. He's like a soldier, and the soldiers like fight these monsters, right? The monsters are aliens that have kind of come to Earth and try to take over and all that kind of stuff. And in the movie, his son is learning to become a warrior, right? A soldier like his father. And the enemy can't see, but it can smell. And what it smells is your fear. Right. And then it eats you and gets you when you're fearful, right? So the little boy, Jaden, who plays Will's son, his real son in real life, he plays him in the movie as well. He sees his sister literally get murdered, like in front of him by these evil creatures or whatever. And so he's learning, he's out in the woods and outside, and he's just learning. And he's like, Dad, I'm scared. It's fear. So he's talking to his dad. They're communicating. He's like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And da. And Will said this, and I'll never forget. He said, fear is a choice. And I had to pause it, right? I think I saw the movie. I probably didn't see it in the movie theater. I probably saw it on DVD or something, but I had to pause it right there. He said, fear is a choice. Let me tell you something. As someone that comes from a mathematical and scientific background, right? And research intensive and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Check this out. We learned something a long time ago, that the way we could tell if something is real or if something is fake is by our five senses, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I think about fear, people say, oh, fear is real. I'm like, oh, is it really real? So I'm gonna tell you what I believe. I believe that fear is a mind-altering, fictitious force that has a very real effect. I'm gonna say it again. It's a mind-altering, fictitious force that has a very real effect. Chris, what the hell are you talking about? Let me break it down to you. Like I say, as a child, we were taught five senses. If you can't see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, or touch it, it does not exist, right? That's what we're taught, right?
Right.
So when I think about fear, when I think about seeing fear, you don't see fear, you just see me shaking. You see the effect of it, right? You see it, right? You see it, right? You don't smell it. Maybe if I'm not that sure that day, it'll give off, right? You don't taste it, but maybe even before, we do an interview or people get in front of people, they get that cotton mouth feeling, and it's like, but it's fear manifesting itself, right? You don't hear fear, I'm bad screaming, but you hear the effects of it. You don't touch it, right? You don't really touch. You can touch somebody that is fearful, but you're not really touching the fear. So when I say that, I say once again that fear to me is a mind-altering, fictitious force that has a very real effect. So the effects of it are real, and guess what? It is, like Will said, a choice. A choice. And we allow this fear, as you just said, and this fear of success and this fear of failure, it's the same inverted. Yes. I had the fear of success. I had the fear of that. I've been pretty good at what I've done before, but if I really blow up, what's really going to happen, right? Or maybe, Chris, maybe you just got lucky. That first book was a #1 bestseller. You can't do that shit again. You can't do it again. Like that was, it was the first time. It was just a, you tried it. You tried it and it worked.
But people have
But
the right
it's
time
not going
and
to happen for you again.
Right.
Why would it happen for you again?
Right.
But that goes back to the mindset and understanding this. And I'm going to tell you, if you believe this will help you stop procrastinating. This one statement. If you believe that you are worthy and you deserve everything that you desire, the procrastination spirit will go away. It'll be subsided. The fear will dissipate from you. You said it earlier, Kim. You said, if you've done it before, you can do it again. Think about that. And when you realize you've done it before, it builds your confidence. It builds your certainty. So therefore, you can go into this saying, so when I talk about the fear of success, like you should say, wait a minute, I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. I know God blessed me and gave me this opportunity and this platform. I know I can sustain it and move to season 2 and season 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, right? Because I did it already. I did the heavy lifting. I did the work, right? Study, show yourself approved, right? Like I've done the work.
Yeah.
Now I just need to actually walk in and get this. I know I'm Mr. Get Shit Done, but it's not really about doing things. It's about, as our forever first lady will say, becoming. If we focus more on being as opposed to doing, you won't procrastinate as much. Because doing, you get caught up in all the semantics. Well, how do I do it? And where do I need to do it? And all these things. But when you just be, when you accept the fact that you are worthy and you deserve everything that you desire, when you accept that you literally have the power and the ability to create and manifest whatever you desire in your life, when you understand that you literally are a king, a priest, a queen, like when you really realize that you are amazing and incredibly and wonderfully made, and when you really get that, when you get that, all these other excuses, all these unsustainable habits, right? All these things, all of that stinking thinking, all of that language that's not serving you, all of that stuff goes away.
That's right.
And you're able to stand in your power.
That's it.
And understand that this is mine. I work for this. I deserve this. I'm worthy. And I deserve everything that I ultimately desire. And that's when you.
Oh my, look. Okay, there ain't nothing else to say. All right, then did he seal that up? Did he put a nice little bow on there for you and just say, here, take this? Okay. Oh my. Look, we can go on for days. I can sit here and we can talk about it. We can go in and it be hour 2, hour 3. But we're gonna pause it right here.
I got you.
I can always have you come back. That's the beauty of having my own show and being able to say, come on back. And let's talk a little bit more about this, dig a little deeper. This is all we can talk about for now, but honey, look, there's always tomorrow, next week, and the next day, and we can talk about it some more. So I am excited. I want to say thank you first for bringing such powerful information to us, for coming on this platform and informing people so that they can make informed decisions about procrastination, so that they can learn a little bit more about it, so that they can be equipped with the tools that they need to move beyond the procrastination, because that's what it's all about. It's all about us getting to a place of growth. I talk about this on my show repeatedly. We are moving from a place of fear to a place of education and being informed, so that we can be encouraged and enlightened and strengthened, so we can reach back and help others. That's what it's all about. And so, like I said, I thank you for bringing this to us and allowing us to find strength and moving forward and being the best person that we can possibly be. That is a blessing. So before we go, I definitely want to ask you, as I ask all of my guests, what are some things that you are doing personally to create your own peaceful existence in this space that we're in right now? How are you living in this now?
I love it. How am I living? I love it. I've decided to live my best life. And you know what that looks like to me, right? Everybody has their own depictions. I'm constantly pulled in so many directions, whether it's the family stuff or whether it's the clients and that, and we get, as coach, like you literally, you get a lot of stuff, right? And you absorb a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff just, falls on you. So relaxation and me creating a spirit of Zen is extremely important to me. I'm very big on meditation, and especially with affirmations. I listen to affirmations and make them every single day. I make sure that I'm being intentional. Guess what? Even in my downtime, in my rest time, if I decide that, look, I am going to sit down and binge watch a reality TV show, then I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And I'm doing it unapologetically. I used to always like, oh my God, I should always be on. I should always be going. I used to feel that way, right? I used to feel like I was always behind the 8 ball, always behind the gun, which is thus the procrastinate, right? I was always behind, trying to catch up. I'm always trying to catch up. Now it's like, no. So I'm really big on, like I said, on meditating, as well as doing those affirmations. Another thing that I love that's very refreshing, I'm going to Jamaica next month. So I'm going, I like to travel. I like to just get out and see different places and experiences and get in nature and just reconnect with God, reconnect with myself, and just do that. I'm a big I'm a big fan about spas too. I like the spa experience. Oh, yes. Give me a facial, rub my feet. Some guys like, don't do that. I'm like, nah, rub my feet, do it.
Get under them toenails, everything. Do it. Do it.
The whole thing. Like I'm about that. Getting massages, right? Yes. Relieving the tension. Because I realize is this. If this is my temple, right? If I'm not taking care of my temple, if I'm not doing what I need to do, guess what? For me, it is impossible for me to do what I need to do for everybody else that's depending on me.
You cannot pour into others. You hear that all the time. We hear the cliche, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
You cannot. And I used to, I'm guilty. I used to be the workaholic, work yourself to, like a Hebrew slave all the way down. I mean, like this, like this push. And then I realized that in all that pushing, as we started this conversation, I was missing out on the moment. I was missing out on being present. And so that mindfulness now, in that relaxation, whether it's at the spa or it's the trip or it's the meditation or it's the affirmations, me being present in that moment, not worried about tomorrow, worried about itself.
That's right.
Not worried about, not worried about yesterday. That's gone. They ain't never coming back, So just really authentically being with me and owning me. And all those things are really important. So that's how I'm living. And I got some other trips planned this year. I mix them sometimes with work and pleasure. But at the end of the day, it's funny. I just did my first TikTok, guys. I know my kids like, you did TikTok. I just did my first TikTok or whatever. And it said, what are you doing in 2022? And there was a little button that showed up above your head. And mine said, living my best life. I said, amen to that. TikTok got it right. I got it right. And that's how we're going to be. Yes.
That's it. I love it. Okay. Well, now we want to ask people how they can get in contact with you. Because like I said, you share so many nuggets. How people are like, I want to talk to him.
I got you. We got some stuff for you. Okay. So the best way to reach me, I'm on every social media platform, everything, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, it's all Chris Cooper Live, at Chris Cooper Live, ChrisCooperlive. On Facebook, my Facebook page is Chris Cooper Live ATL. So if you do facebook.com/Chris Cooper Live ATL, so you'll see that. You can follow me and all that kind of stuff. Of course, my website is guess what? .chriscooperlive.com, right? It's all underneath the umbrella of Chris Cooper Live. I have another one where I do a lot of corporate stuff. That's executeyourpassion.com. That's executeyourpassion.com. So I do a lot of, and I think, we talked about this, so I do a lot of 3 things: the coaching, the training, and the speaking. So I have specific coaching programs for individuals that are usually high performing professionals and entrepreneurs trying to stop quitting, trying to stop procrastinating, really wanting to get the next level, as well as I also coach coaches. So all the coaches out there, I actually have a whole coaching blueprint program where I teach you all I've learned, how to maximize, how to grow your business, all that kind of stuff. So I do have that as well. And then of course, all the other, nuggets.
And you also have a book.
And I have 2 books, actually.
2 books.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So this is the first one. Well, the second one, technically, that's Get Shit Done. And this is all about how to stop quitting and start succeeding. It's on Amazon. You also can go direct to my website and you'll find it as well. So this is number 1 bestseller on Amazon. And my second book, oh boy, do I have it nearby? I give books away all the time. Is Achieve Your Dreams. And this is 26 quick keys to ultimately succeed in life. It's based on the alphabet. I used to do this alphabet poem where I say all the letters from A to Z, and every letter means something. Like A is avoid negative people, places, and thing. Z is zero for your target and go for it. And then I give people a short story, poem, or quote relating to each letter, and then I give them an opportunity to say how they're going to actually apply it in their life. So it's not a workbook, but it is an action guide to your success. So you can get Achieve Your Dreams and Get Shit Done. I was very blessed. Both of them went #1 on Amazon in multiple categories. Of course, I do tons of corporate work as far as training, leadership, management, communication skills, all that kind of stuff.
Like you said, everything is at Chris Cooper Live.
It is ChrisCooperLive.com. Look, you'll find me. Go to Chris Cooper Live. Yeah, I promise you will find me. They're all connected, and you'll see all the great stuff that I'm excited about this year, and I'm implementing masterminds and all that other kind of cool stuff. So check me out. Hit me up.
Check them out, y'all. Check them out. Okay, Chris, thank you so much for taking time to, like I said, impart your wisdom on us to help get us right with regards to procrastination. Okay, guys, don't wait. Okay, check them out. Go now.
When would now be a good time to get started, guys? When would now be a good time to get started?
All right. Right now. Right now from how now. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Again, thank you so much. And like I said, we look forward to having you come back. And we'll do it all again. I appreciate it so much. All right, guys. And that will do it for this edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. And until I see you the next time, I say peace.